All right. So, add other players' hands to the client when we join a game. Let's go ahead and get our server going. This is our back end, so it's that. This always takes so long for it to spin up. Serve. All right, there you go. We'll let that go. So, we're receiving the information from the players, so from the back end. So what that tells me is we're gonna have to handle that on the front end here. So it's gonna be part of the index. And I think it's when we handle player joins room in session. I think this is the thing that we're gonna care about the most here. So I believe if we put in a console log and log out this message data, we can give it a message just to make sure that we know it's this one. So this is gonna be all right. Let's see what we can see. So we're gonna start by assigning this. So we have our create game here. Move you over to the left. Oh, fine. Have to join before I can. No. Okay. Other, we're gonna join 7129. Let's grab 3 cards and join the room. Okay, so we did not get that. Oh, this one got that. This one did not. Well, that's interesting. This one just got the join room. But we did get this information. Okay, so action join room. And we got the information we want. So if we go look up our lookup table, so join room goes to handle join room. Here's handle join room. Okay, so it's not gonna be this. It's gonna be this. So what we want to do is we want to create another player with the name that they have. So we'll start with that. And I guess like we just have other players. And what do we have in here? We have message, add player. Okay, and that's just there's that in other players. Okay, that's great. And when somebody else joins, okay, we're going to create a player like this. And then we add a player. Okay, okay. So we want to take you. There's my handle join room. There it is. We know that there has to be a minimum of one other player because a room can't exist without like the host being there. So we know we can just start creating this. Okay, so we're going to set the player to that. Now we have a hand. Other players is this array. It has the hand, which is an array of objects. Yeah, okay. Hold on, this feels a little bit weird. Okay, so other players. Is an array. Okay, that makes sense. And then we have a hand, and inside of that, a hand. So hand is actually an object. Or am I? No. Okay, hold on. Is this object? Okay. This is just screwing me up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So inside of here, we have hand, ID, and name. Okay, so hand, ID, and name. So I think what we might be able to get away with is just const player. Well, it's an other players, right? So like there's multiple of them. So in a way, I can probably get away with just looping through the message data and then adding in. Okay. So if I say message data dot other players for each. Okay, we're gonna get a player. I want to commit, add player, that player. Yes, exactly what I want to do. Just that. You are upset because I need to close you. Okay, so let's bring you to the left, you to the right. Can't access property for each message data other players is undefined. Okay. So this can only happen if there are other players. So if sort of. That's what I want to do. That is again. Okay, no errors. Take in a few cards. Join the room. Okay, so can access property for each message data that place is undefined. What? Thought I saw it. Join room. Oh, other. They're players. Okay, so if message data. So, this is interesting. So Copilot got it correct. I got it wrong. that's a first. Create you, take some cards. In code. There we go, and we have these 3 cards in here from me. I see this other joined here. I can make these cards available. You can take some cards and make them available. Nice. Okay. All right. I'm liking this. And then if like a third person joins, this will be third. You're joining in code 6. Okay. Then we see all these in progress with the cards. And we can take some cards and make them available as well. All right. I think that's working. Okay. So that means I want to see my friend's hands when I join a game. All right. Well, that was fast. Let's see. There's no backend changes. So we are other players' hands to restore when we join the game. All right, what's next? As a player, I want to discard a card. Okay, so we want the ability to have like a discard deck somewhere. And we can like press a button or whatever to say like, hey, I no longer want this in my hand. Time to get rid of you. I wonder what the best solution for this would be. Probably, because like I already have clicking on it makes it visible or not. So I think I'm gonna need another button here for a discard. So to begin with, let's go find an icon for us to use. I'm thinking something like an X or like a send. There's something like that. I don't know if I want that. Okay, a trash might be good. I don't know if I could think of anything else that would like indicate a discard really easily. So I'm gonna just grab this trash. Okay, so here we are with that. So let's create a component. Okay, so this is gonna be the discard icon, essentially. Yes, I know. Okay, so template. what we're gonna want here is probably just like an image. Our source is gonna be bound, and we're gonna make this the discard icon for the alt. This can be discard your card. I don't have a source set for that. Oh, nope. Okay, so what do we call this again? This is import discard icon from, okay, so assets, images, not exactly. From assets, images, icon, wait. No, it's delete outline. Not even close. Outline, white, 24 dp .svg. There we go. Then here we have to add it into data. So one of the few times that I'm using like any kind of internal state, I suppose we could add these into the centralized store, but I'm kind of treating these components as like, you know, reusable anywhere else. Okay, so we have return, and this is gonna be discard icon. So I actually don't need to do both of you. You have old school JavaScript. We're just gonna do discard icon, that. Okay, so we have all of you. Now we can go into, I suppose, card. The front end card. We can import that. Okay, bring in our discard icon. And then for each card, we want to show that. Okay, so we have the back, we have the face card, we have the visibility toggle up here. Let's just try putting it right here and just sort of see what it looks like. So this is going to be our discard icon. Let's set that. You are unhappy. Failed to compile. What happened? Make you capital. Oh, why did you bring it in twice? Oh, that happens every once in a while. It like tries to be too helpful. And that's VTour, I think. That's doing that. That's not Copilot. Okay. Still a problem. Although I can't see it there. Failed to compile. Let's. Can't resolve. Okay, so it can't find this. Okay, fine. Where's my, there it is. Okay, so we have assets, images, delete, outline, white, 24db.svg. Okay. That is in assets. Do we need to actually fully restart the server? Let's try it. See if we get the same error. Yes, we do. Okay, so it can't find this. Is there something weird like a space in the name? No. Let's just do this. Copy you. I don't think that really changed anything. Okay, so then you're... Oh, there's no images here. It's just assets. That's what it is. Okay, got it. All right, so... All right, so you got a large trash icon up above that. That's cool. What we would want to do is do the exact same thing that we did. Our card. So we have this visibility toggle inside of here. So we probably want to then put this inside of a div. So it'd be a div with a class of, I guess like these are like icons. Then we would have our icons. Display flex. Let's just try that. Okay. That did not do it. So here's our class icons. We have this display flex. Oh, flex direction is still a column. Oh, so we need to also add in here a flex direction row. Okay, so flex direction row. That will make them next to each other like this. Then I need to make that a lot smaller. Which, if I remember correctly, we're doing in this image itself. So we can have width. We can reduce that down. Like 45%. So in our discard icon, we can have a style. This is going to be our image. We want our width to be like 45%. Okay, that did not do anything. Okay, so that doesn't set it correctly. What did we do in the other one? We have the visibility toggle icon. Oh, okay. So very similar. Visibility toggle. Oh, so we just added a class for that. I guess that's what we need to do. So class equals, and let's give this a, it's just the discard icon. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. That looks about right. Now, that being said, this is just an icon showing stuff, and this one is an action. So I don't know if I like that. What if I moved... What if I moved you to the bottom? So we take this discard icon, and I move you down below this. Like that. Okay. I can get behind this. We're going to want a little bit of leeway on the bottom of that. So that's going to be this top div, the compute, the class card. Oh, we're not using that at all. Let's give it like a margin bottom of like 1 rem. That brings it up a little bit. Now it's gonna be easier to see these. It doesn't actually need to be one full one. Maybe it can be like 0.5. Okay. Now these can be clickable. So when we hover over them, we want it to probably like have some kind of like change color. Because they're SVGs, the color can be changed pretty easily, I believe. I think what I can do is come here to this image. We can say color is like red. No. It wouldn't be. What are other colors are there? It's like background color. I guess this works. Look, when we hover over, we can just give it a background color. So for card, okay, for visible, okay, so we can do this. Can't remember if this works. Like hover. I guess I don't know what I would want to do. Like there's no JavaScript one to toggle with that. I think we'll just do the CSS for that. So the visibility toggle, we'll just do toggle hover. So background color, what are our reds? Do crimson. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, let's go find out what happened. You don't, wait, you don't have that applied. You're saved. Visibility toggle hover. Wait, visibility toggle. Wait. I put it on there. Wrong one. Wrong one. We want to go to discard icon. This is class discard icon. Okay, let's do that. There we go. Now we got this. So we see that now. And then when we click it, we want to register an event, and that's going to send up like what we're doing. So let's also update this. Okay, so discard a card. No. Okay, so I want to display discard icon for the card. I guess, yeah, that would be the next thing, right? Send discard message to the back end. Update the discard state in the back end. Is that true? I guess so, yeah. Then send the new discard state to the clients. Client should set the discard state of the card. All right, that should work. All right, so this is happening. Now before I review that, all of these have them. So we need to only display the discard for cards in our hand. So that's another important thing here. What do I want? I want to go here. So we're not quite done with this yet. I want to, in our card, this is going to be the same thing, VF visibility toggle. So this is going to be discard toggle. So we want a property. Where's our properties? There it is. Discard toggle is a Boolean. Then we can do the same thing here. So v if it's gonna be discard toggle. Okay. Then we're gonna go to the hand, and you are gonna have a discard toggle. Like that. Okay, so now this hand gets it, or this card does not get it. These cards do. Okay, perfect. Now I can say that you're done. Okay, so added a discard toggle icon to all cards. Displaying icon for players and only. Okay. Airy Foo, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, so what's next? We want to send the discard message to the back end. Okay, so basically when we click on this, we want to just start emitting up and then sending this out. So what is that going to look like? We need to know which card it is and which player it is. Well, we have the player ID, and then we can emit like the specific card information for it. So let's make it so that when we click on this, we emit out the information, and we'll just raise that up, emit it up. Doing fine? Oh, that's great to hear. So we're gonna go into card. So on here, we're gonna need a handle. How do I think about design patterns? Is there a specific design pattern? Because like, so in general design patterns, and I guess like, are we talking about like the programming patterns, like the 24 gang of 4 programming patterns, design patterns, or are we talking about like design patterns? It's unfortunately named because they're like two different things, but they share the same name. So we're gonna do an @click equals somebody hate design pattern. I mean, I don't hate them. I think some of the design patterns are really, really good. I also think that they're not necessarily easy to put into like something like Rust or front-end frameworks. But the general idea of them, I think, are really good because you can take those and separate out the concerns, so that way they won't you won't get quite as tightly coupled things. Okay, so this is gonna be handle discard. I guess that's what I'll call it. So handle discard, come down here to methods. Handle discard, and we're just gonna do, okay, and emit, we're discarding. And we should put the same information in this. I guess not the full same. We have the value and we have the suit, but the visibility I don't care about. You need to be closed. Okay. So then let's go to here to events and see what we can see. Okay, so we create some cards in here. I'll clear out the events. When I hit this, I see the ooh, that also toggled the ooh, that, so this is part of the toggling and invisibility. Oh, that's not what I want. So we need to make sure that this click, okay, so this is on this outside div. That's a problem. So I want to, first of all, take you, and we want to only put you on essentially this here. So I kind of want to just put like a, I don't know, a div around this. And we're gonna throw this handle click here, and let's rename this handle click to handle toggle visibility. How to program great like you? I don't know if I program great, but it's a lot of practice. That's usually what it is. Okay, so we have this now. Okay, everything looks the same. Add a bunch of them. Clear. Okay, toggle visibility still happens when I want it to, but not when I'm clicking on this anymore. Okay, that's not happening anymore. So I can't actually put the click on you. What I can do maybe is go into the discard icon. Wait, no, that's not it. Discard icon. I bet we can do a @click equals handle click add a script. We're going to have methods. Handle click. This to emit discard. Really, I wanted to emit click. That's it. And do that. Okay. That's what? What did I do? I broke the image. Well, that's not cool. So property method discard icon is not defined. An instance, prefer turn. Okay, so we have this at click here. Okay, it's an image. I have a script. So export default with methods. Did I just do this wrong? Wait. We have two scripts. Oh, that's my problem. I have two scripts. Oops. We need to move these up here like that, and then get rid of this script. Oopsies. Okay. There we go. Now, if I do this, click, emit by discard icon. Okay, so hold on. Okay, and then we get the discard event. So that happens now too. So now I get both. All right, so that works. Now payload for discard, we get to see that it is a 8 of diamonds here, and this is going to be the king of clubs. Okay, so perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Okay, so now I want to emit this all the way up to app. So that we can get it to the store. So we are currently in hand, I believe. As this is coming from, oh, it's coming from card. So we're in card. So have hand catch it. It emits to room, and then which emits it to app. Okay, so card emits discard. So we're going to go to card. This emits this card that we see here. Okay, so we're going to go up to hand. And we're going to at discard, so handle discard. Handle discard, take in the card. This dot emit, then we're just discarding the card and then passing in the card. Okay, so that's bubbling up. Okay, so from hand we go to room. We go to front end room and do the same thing. So here's our hand at discard, handle discard, handle discard, just emit discard card. Okay, we do that. Then in room, I believe we go to app. And then that's going to happen on the router view here. Okay, handle discard. Okay, so here we're going to dispatch, discard a card. It's gonna be discard card, and we're gonna pass in the card. Oh, got to take in the card. Okay, so that should now bubble all the way up to the store. So we should now be able to create this index. So as an action, we should now be able to have this. Let's just take in state and then the card. And we're just going to console.log state and the card. And let's also give it like a label so we can easily see what this is. This is discarding. Okay, so at this point in time, we should be able to see this happen in the console when it does happen. Okay, so toggle visibility card, there. Discarding card, and here, it's a Jack of Hearts. Okay, awesome. So what do we need to actually do the thing? We're gonna need the player ID, the room ID, and this card information. And I think that's pretty much it, right? Then we're gonna remove it from the player's hand and add it to the discard pile. So I think next is API. We want to now discard card. So room ID, player ID, and card information. Okay. I don't know what that says. Discard card, room ID, player ID, card. I think that's correct. Okay, then instead of here, all right, so it wants to const message, new message builder, set action, discard card. Okay, that sounds good. We'll have to add that action in the back end. Set the room ID to the room ID. Set player ID to the player ID. Set the card to the card, and then build. Yeah, I think that's exactly correct. And then we'll stringify and send that message on back. Okay. All right. Now, this is going to fail because this discard card isn't something it knows what that is. So if we come back to here, we should be able to see right, you're here. Okay, so I need to actually call the thing if I wanted to do this thing. That would be helpful. So in here we're gonna do a API.discard card and send in the stuff. Okay. Let's try this again. So, oh, we're not, okay, I don't think, that's crashing at this point. For the join, yeah, okay, so unknown variant, discard card. Okay, perfect. So now we can go to actions and add in discard card. Then I think it doesn't know what to do. So I don't think it does anything at all. We need to go to main state. Main state. Okay, so we have this handle incoming message. We're gonna have a discard card. Self that handle discard card. We're gonna pass in the message. That was weird how like it didn't actually complete that. So we're gonna have this handle discard card. It's gonna take in okay. So let's first return okay, and then let's just debug the message. Okay, so now we should see this coming in here. Okay, then oh, panicked on unwrap, missing field visible. Missing field visible. Okay, so we need a visible on our front end. Okay, so we need the visibility of this card, but we already have that here, don't we? Oh, we don't. We're gonna need that in card. So we just need to set visible, this dot visible. Okay. Let's try it again. Okay, I'll toggle you, and here we go. Okay, so we got our custom message. Action is gonna be discard card and our message data. So we see the player ID here. We see the card of what we sent down. So this is the 8 of spades. That's correct. All right. Think that's all we need. Oh, and room ID. We see the room ID. So what do we need to do? We need to first get the room ID. So that's the very first thing, is get the room. So in main state. Now, rooms are just a vector of rooms. I've been thinking that like it probably would be best if we made rooms be a hash map. That would probably be easier to like just extract it out, because like, hey, do we have an ID? It has to be unique. Okay, so we have to find this. So if let room ID do we have get room? let's create room. Okay, so we have all of this stuff. So we kind of want to just recreate a bunch of this. So if let some room equals this, so rooms, we're gonna mute find. Let's go to room ID. Okay, so then now we're not gonna do this part here. But we now have access to the room, mutable access to the room. So now we have to tell the room to discard a card. And we can pass in the player ID and the card. Okay. That actually looks pretty appropriate. So we have to add in discard card. So we're gonna go to room. And this is discard card. Player ID and card. I think that's correct. Let's start with returning okay. Let's also just sort of debug our player ID and the card, just to make sure that we have what we think we're having, and it's like properly flowing through here. Okay, there it is. So we have our player ID and we have the card. So Queen of Diamonds, visibility false. We do that. Queen of Diamonds, visibility true. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now we have our room. We have a vector of players. So we need to find the players. We need to find the player. So, okay, I think this is starting. So let player equals player equals self dot players. Okay, so iter mute find player ID. Okay, that looks right so far. Then inside of here, we're gonna return this player. Else, we're gonna return okay, because we just didn't find anything. Okay, so now we found a player. And we have the card. So now we need to tell the player to extract the card. So I need to do something like let carded card equals player discard card and pass it in this card. So you don't exist, so time to go to player. Yeah, okay, you're gonna be a message card. Result. Okay. That card equals self-defined card, message card. So we do need to find the card, which is in the hand, but that's just a vec of cards. So it's close. I need to get the index of it and then actually just like remove it and return it out. Now, is there a return? Also, you're gonna try to return a card, but we should really return a result with a card inside, and we're gonna. So, if I do let card equals self dot and dot So let's. What are my choices here? So if I do iter mute, so to collect comment, there's filter, find. They're like a remove. There's take. Oh, that takes the U size. Okay, that's not what I want. Okay, that's not right. Wait, is there a remove without just off this? There is. Okay, but that takes an index. Okay, so I need retain reverse. Bob Ross SRTX or RTX. Hello. I'm guessing. Okay, so if I want to do remove, this will return the thing. So I need to first find the index of it. So this is going to be essentially card index equals self.hand find index. Is that a thing? Probably. Then card is equal to message card. Most of the way, I think. Although you can't figure this out, so that's the thing. So, okay, no, there is no find index. Come on. But maybe we can iter mute. Oh, we can just iter. Yeah, okay, there's find, but not find index. I think we need to go to documentation for this. Okay, so what are we going here? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in there, but maybe we can go into an iter. Let's go into the iterator for a slice, a vector slice. You're a C++ programmer, so Rust syntax is pretty similar to you, and you understand a lot of it straight off the bat, but where would you recommend to learn more? So like the first place that like almost everyone is going to tell you, and I kind of agree with this, is the book. So if you haven't heard of it, actually I think I might have even a command for it. Rust book. Yeah, that's it. So this book, which that opened in the wrong browser. That's cool. Opens up this. So there is Read the Book. This is just an open source free book made by the Rust Foundation that is kept up to date and basically just has everything you need to know to like get started with Rust. Most people would suggest trying to get through at least chapter 10. But I would say like automated test is like chapter 11. Like at that point in time, it's like it does start talking to like more advanced stuff. I think that it's still pretty interesting. Like especially when you start getting to smart pointers, like coming from C++, or at least C++, you're gonna know like more about what those are, and so like I think they can help you. Probably early on in Rust, you won't need them right away. Yeah, so I guess like they've made it a little bit longer than when I read through it. But yeah, this is where I would start. And I would do all the examples too as it instead of just reading through it, because Rust book can be Rust itself can be a little bit like you think that you're getting it, but until you actually program it and like you get the error messages yelling at you, it can be hard to sort of like really conceptualize and internalize what's going on. Okay, you played around with Rocket. Yeah, and so Rocket uses a lot of macros, which I don't know what the equivalent in C++ is, but it's basically generated code. It's like macros um, macros will inject code at compile time, which then gets compiled further into like your code base. So Rocket does that a lot, which means that there's a lot of things that you like won't necessarily understand. Like, where is Rust and where is Rocket stuff going on? It's sort of like Rocket made a little meta language around it, which is really cool and really awesome. But it can make learning Rust a little bit difficult if you only start with Rocket and don't do anything else. Okay, so we are looking through the documentation. So here's an iterator on here. We're looking for what vec iterator. This is not helpful. So we have like find. Okay, can I search for like index? You really like how Cargo is really verbose about errors as well. Yeah, so I mean that's one of my favorite things as well. I went to a conference talk, one of the Rust confs, and they talked about how their philosophy. When I say they, I mean like the actual Rust Foundation. The philosophy with the language is that the compiler should be a tutor that helps you, like almost pair programs with you. So I mean that's it's not something that's going to go away. So index 100. That's Rush just gave me a lot of feeling. Okay, yeah, no, that's a common feeling. A lot of people have that. It's actually one of the reasons why a lot of people like to get in and like really enjoy working with Rust, even though it might be giving them a little bit of a sort of like a negative feeling sometimes when like their code doesn't work. So I don't. Is there like an index of? Index by. There's 4 matches. Okay, so that's not that. So there's no index of. Is there like a find? No, okay, there's find. There's no find index. Like a pat and a kick on the back. Yeah, although they're trying not to make it feel negative, but like it's pretty easy to fight against Rust until eventually you just like give up and say, fine, I'll do it the way you want me to do it. And you're like, oh, okay, this is so much more pleasant. So I don't know what the this is the thing that constantly hits me with Rust is the worst part about Rust, in my opinion, is discoverability of these methods. It's not easy to find them. So iterator, but I want the specific vec iterator. So if we look at iterator, okay, so here's all these different types of iterators. So I guess it is just a slice iterator. And I want to make sure that slice here we go. Here's where it has all the methods on it. It's like there's several different places in documentation you can go to find this. Okay, let's search for index in here. Okay, so there's just the partitions. Index, that's just like go to the index. Oh, that's all. Oh. So maybe I have to find it first before I can remove. Well, that's too bad. So this game is not going to be that bad for like taking extra time to do this twice, but I guess we're going to have to do that. So we're just going to do a find. And so we're going to take a card. So then we want to search for the card.suit is the same as the message card.suit, and the card.value is equal to the message card.value. Okay. So then this is not as easy to do. Oh, but what we can do is before we do this, we're going to enumerate. That gives us this tuple. So we're going to have a tuple of index and card. Okay, so then we probably want to do this as like an if let some card index is all I really care about here. So then I actually want this to be a just let index equals, so let's just return the card index. Which means in U, we need to find okay, so this is giving us the index, and I don't care about the card itself. So we're just going to return the index. Now, if this doesn't exist, if we can't find it, then I need to do an early return with nothing. And maybe this should just be an option. We should just make this an option with a card inside. So in that case, oh, so because of that, that allows me, hold on. I don't need to do it. We can do index that equals, I don't need to do if let sum, okay, self that this, then I can do a question mark, well, question mark, semicolon, okay. So what this entire thing lets me do here is question mark says, hey, if it's an option, if it's a none, just go ahead and send that on up. Otherwise, give this to me. I'm gonna destructure the index out of the tuple that comes out. So we now get the index of the card. Okay, so at this point we have the index of the card. Time for us to remove it. So now we can say let card equals self dot hand dot. We're gonna remove and then pass it in this index, and then that gives us the card. And then we're gonna return a sum card. I'm not using you as an index, so I can just underscore you. Okay. Okay, so this discards the card, this removes it from the player's hand, and it's gone. We should tell the player that you've discarded a card. So how would that be? Because we have the ability to send to this player the card that they discarded. We should probably do that. We can say self dot in self. Okay, so we have to set what the message is going to be. So let our message equals, we have a message, custom message builder. What do you take in? You don't take anything in. Okay, so set action, import you. So this is going to be, okay, we discarded a card. Actually, no, I don't want to do this here because, well, how does the player know that we discarded the card? That's the issue. I think we have to do this. We have to do like set card. So you're not helpful. Set card. I'm gonna pass in a card, but we can just do this card here like that. We have copy implemented, copy and clone, so it will auto clone for us. Set draw deck size, we don't need to do that. Set message. Set other player. Player ID. So this is only coming to us, so I don't even need to do that. Set name, set room ID. Okay, so then we're just gonna build it. That gives us this. You should be happy. And then we're gonna send this message. So because send returns a result, we have to now return a result like that. Which means this is less. This won't work, unfortunately, anymore. I was really hoping we can get away with the option of that. Well, the best thing would probably be not to have this send the message for us. So let's maybe not do that here. So if I don't do that here, then I don't need to do this here. So we're not going to send a message. We're going to get this card and return the card. So then we're going to go back up to the player. We're going to go to the room. Here's the discarded card. It's an option here. So we may or may not have a discarded card. This could be an if let discarded card equals this. Okay, so now we have access to this. Let's just debug the discarded card. Make sure that this happened the way we expected it to. Let's do that, and let's also debug the player, because the player, we should be able to see that there's no hand anymore. Okay, so we discarded the discarded card is the 7 of diamonds. In the player hand, we no longer see the 7 of diamonds. So it's not in there anymore. That's perfect. Okay. So we do need to tell the front end that this player discarded the 7 of diamonds. But we don't want, actually it's okay. We can say. So in almost every game that I've played, the discard pile is face up. So I think we can send that we can send that. So in room, okay, we want a message to all players and do a new message, actions, discard card. We set the card is the discarded card. Okay. We set the player ID, so we need to know the player ID. Okay, we do that. And then we build, okay. And then we're going to self-broadcast to room the message to all players. So now reset you. We should get a message when we try to discard this card. We get an error, but that's fine. We get this discard card. It's the Ace of Hearts. And the player ID of who discarded it. Okay. So then, in this front end, go to here. So in our lookup table, we're going to have a discard card. It's going to be handle discard card. Okay, so handle discard card. We're going to have a commit. We're going to have the message data come in. Okay, so const card. So the suit and the value. The suit and the value comes from that. Then add card to the player. No, we don't want to add the card to the player. We need, okay, so there's a couple different things we need to do here. First of all, we need to remove the card from, so I guess like right now, let's just have state, and I'm just gonna log state and the message data. What we need to do is we need to remove the card from the player. So remove the card from the player's hand. So what would we need to do? We need to know if it's our card or if it's somebody else's card, right? If it's our hand, the player ID matches ours. If it's somebody else's hand, it's going to be in here. So we're going to have a mutation of remove card from player hand. We'll take in the state, and we'll take in the card that we need to remove. Okay. So what is this going to look like? We're going to have const hand state.hand. Well, that's going to be interesting, but we can't just split. Let's see. Index of card. I don't think it's going to be easy enough to just find that because it's an object. So this isn't going to work, but good idea. Is there any other? No other ideas. Okay, so we want to do. We do have to find the index of it, but we're going to have to search through that manually to find it. Const, I don't think we need to do this. We need the card index equals, okay, so state dot hand dot essentially this is going to be a reduce. We want to search through all of these. So I actually think we're going to want to do something like card index is like set, like maybe do something like this. Like let card index, it's going to be undefined to begin with. And then we're going to have to do a for of loop. So for let, this is going to be hand, like card in hand of state.hand. Then, okay, so if card, but there's no ID, so it's not quite that simple. So if card in hand dot suit is equal to the card dot suit and card in hand, oh, not rank. Dot value is equal to card dot value, okay. Then oh, I guess we need both. I can't do of. This is not helpful. So we're gonna do in. That gives us the index. So index, let's see the hand. Okay, so hold on. If card has a shoot index equals if state dot hand index is equal to the suit, we're going to do this equal to close, not exactly. This is going to be state hand. And actually, you know what? We can do this, make this a little bit easier. Then we can just do card in hand equals state of hand index. There we go. Now we can do this. If card in hand dot suit is equal to that. Okay, so equal to card dot suit and card in hand dot value is equal to card dot value. Okay, then card index is equal to this index. Yes, exactly. So we reach the end if we have a card index at this point. If we have a card index, time for us to remove it. So that's just going to be that. So remove card from player hand. So handle discard card. What we want to do first is if message data to player ID is equal to state the player ID. Okay, so if the player ID, so if it's us, I don't want to do all that stuff. Close though. Message data player ID is equal to state dot player ID. Okay, so if that exists, then I want to remove this card. So we're now going to take a commit in. We're going to commit remove card from hand, message data.card, and that's it. So that should remove the card from our hand. Remove card from player hand. Okay, let's try this again. There's the 7. There's the 10. Okay, and we've removed those from the player hand. The discard pile, or sorry, the draw pile is still low. We can draw more cards in here, and they're gone. Okay, so we are removing it from our own hand to begin with. It is 8:28, so I don't have time to like add too much more in here. Let's go ahead. There's these all on down. I guess like in the to do. Okay, we send the discard message to the back end. We update the state in the back end. Well, not fully. Not fully. So update the discard state in the back end. We need a draw. We need a discard pile, don't we? So like, we need to. What is this? This is remove the card from the player's hand in the back end, and then remove add the card to the discard pile in the back end. And then we can set the new discard state to the clients. So we kind of got a little bit ahead of ourselves, or I got a little ahead of myself. I sent this information up, but we don't have like a discard pile in the back end. And so we didn't send like a discard pile of like what cards are in the discard pile for that. So that's a problem. So I'm gonna leave that there. For you, I'm gonna say, okay, so we have the back end. We are removing the card from the player when we are discarding card. So we did that, but we didn't like add it to a discard pile. And so this is removing the card from a player's hand, from our hand when we discard. Okay, that's great, but there's still a lot more to do for this. All right, so I'll get this pushed up a little bit later. For now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it for a morning because it's after 8:30. It's time for me to head off to work. So there's not too many of us here, so I'm going to skip the raid today. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me. KO2 fan, hello. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I do these streams every weekday morning. So if you want to continue watching this, I would love to have you here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And then I also archive these off to YouTube in case you can't watch them, but you still want to. So with that, I hope that you have a great rest of your Thursday. And I'll see you all next time. All right, bye.